Mi gente, you already know who it is. It's the radioactive Papi Danny Limelight, United Wrestling Network World Heavyweight Champion. And make sure you tune into the Alliance blog every week. You heard it here first. Straight from Papi.
Okay, guys, we're back. Did you miss us? Because we missed you.
Rules?
There are no rules.
What rules?
This is a revolution, damn it!
You'll hear things you've never heard before.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
Who are those guys?
And then there's the other guys.
We're the other guys. We're the guys nobody ever bets on.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show.
It's time for the Other Alliance Guys podcast with your hosts, Tim, Dave, and Jeremy.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And what can we tell you? Jeremy's laughing already. We are the Other Alliance Guys, a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com, your number one source for news and information around the National Wrestling Alliance, the United Wrestling Network, and various independents around the world, including DAWG Pro Wrestling, which the boys are going to be talking about today. I'm Tim. Yep. I got my Sabu crap ready. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I am joined by Dave Scooby, Fantasy Booker. How you doing today?
Doing well. Holiday weekend, so got an extra day off. Feeling good. I can stay up as late as I want.
You're an adult, Dave. You can do that anytime you want.
I know, but I have a weird schedule. I work overnight, so it's like, okay, I can stay up if I want, or I can go to sleep, but I'm normally up, so who knows?
Yeah, well, have an amazing holiday. Jeremy, you as well, buddy. What are you doing for the Memorial Day weekend?
Well, my wife's last day of work for the summer was Friday, so she's off, so I think we're going roller skating.
Oh wow, possibly. That's amazing.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, that is awesome. I have never done that. I mean, Canadian. I played hockey all my life, but I've never been on roller skates or inline bikes either. So yeah, crazy.
Well, I've only ice skated twice, and they were both horrific failures. So
well, there you go. It's all regional.
Yeah.
Willie Bowen in the house. Tyrus's biopic will be shown on the Food Network. I love Willie at the end of these things. You know, you can find Dave here on Blue Sky. You know, Jeremy here on Facebook. Willie Bowen always has a good one for Tyrus about where you can find him. What are we talking about today? Willie's going to hate this, but we're just going to skim through it. We're going to skim through it. Saturday night's main events and our brief thoughts on that before we get to the meat in our particular sandwich, which starts with a Sabu giveaway. This statuette right here and the book that comes with it. Scars, what's it called? Scars, Silence, and Super Glue. Which I just want to say a couple things first as we do this. This was a difficult giveaway today to get through. I forgot about it last week, and then I thought, I got to get rid of this thing, and I'll throw in this statue. But there's a few things. I was reminded about some of the things that potentially Sabu had said or had been involved in saying, kind of beating around the bush on purpose outside of the ring.
Yeah.
And so I'm inclined just to get through it and not worry about it any further than that. Two, I think I might have promised this like a year or two ago, this statuette to Sam Retro. And Sam, I opened up the box I have to send you. I threw something in there so much more amazing. You're going to love it, buddy. I promise. Three, it's just weird because I thought, I can't advertise this out on the feed because, it felt like, hey, let's get likes and, subscribers off of Sabu's death. And that just seemed bad. So I only put it in our Discord. So you got to be in the Discord to win this thing, or if you're not, you better be in the Discord by the time the show ends.
Willie, because I still haven't seen you pop up in there yet. Damn it!
That's right, Willie. It's in the doobly-doo down on YouTube. So I'm just gonna say we'll get that over with in just a few minutes. It'll be some quick trivia. First one to answer 2 first will win. If we don't have enough people just like, I don't know the answer to that, it'll be here, Sam. It's Sam. All right, buddy. I don't know if you're here, Sam. I thought I might have promised this thing to you, but I'm sending you something so much better. You're gonna love it. I apologize if I did. What else are we going to do? After that, we're going to talk about DAWG Pro Wrestling WrestleMania from the Rowan University in Blacksboro, New Jersey. A show a week or 2 ago. And our thoughts on it's 4 hours long, guys, but our thoughts on 5 of those matches. And hey, spoiler alert for me. It was pretty fucking good. I really enjoyed it. Anyway, and then Jeremy's going to talk about UWN Championship Wrestling. Dave's going to bring out the fantasy booking book with the question: should pro wrestling have an off season, and if so, how do you make that work? So that's going to be it's going to be fun. Let's talk really briefly then, guys, about. Saturday night's main event. I am not a WWE guy, only peripherally. I watch clips, I listen to podcasts. I get interested in the big storylines, that type of thing. This was a 5-match Saturday night's main event that saw Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins in a match against CM Punk and Sami Zayn, where Bronson Reed came back to the WWE. I think he's been gone for probably 6 months now, with a broken foot injury, and he joined up with Paul Heyman's group, and so we had that. Let's go through them like one at a time. I want you guys to tell me what you think. Dave, when you scanned this match and you went back and watched it like I did, what'd you think of that, the quan that was that whole match put together?
Well, I mean, it's one of these things that Bronson Reed coming back after 6 months on the shelf with an ankle injury. It was the match itself told the story of wrestlers working together, even though they may not be on the same page. And it's one of these things of Bronson Reed attacking CM Punk, that their storyline, everything's interwoven. So it's one of these things of him joining in the quote unquote Dangerous Alliance version 2.
Right.
They may not all get along, but it's for the better good. And it's one of these things that, every good team or faction has an implosion down the line.
Right.
That something is going to happen. But they're making the best of what's in front of them and leaving what has happened behind them. So it's one of these things that I mean, taking out CM Punk in his first action being back, that's furthering the storyline, plus him joining into Paul Heyman's group. I mean, it's them over Sammy and Punk, Seth and Braun. I'm stoked for the return, but you can see the writing on the wall. It's not going to last long.
Yeah.
We're going to take care of business now, and if this runs for 6 months, we're lucky to see it run 6 months.
Right.
But it's one of these things that they're bringing this group together to make something of others. That Seth is already a made man. Braun is moving up the ladder. Bronson, he's moving up the ladder. I mean, if they add 1 or 2 more people, that'd be great. I mean, like I had talked about adding in a couple more members, that if Judgment Day is done with, add in Finn as your quote unquote he's the veteran. They can have a storyline going down the line that there's enough people that Heyman's group has done battle with or has been in the ring with, that everybody can have their turn, that, okay, you have to go through so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so before you get to Seth Rollins. That he's just basically using people for his betterment. Right. But I see no problem with that if it raises the stock of those people being introduced into this new group. And like I've said before, there's been very few people that haven't worked out. There's been a few, but there's been very few people that haven't upped their stock when they're attached to Heyman. So I'm just hoping that this group helps raise the stock of everybody involved. And I mean, this match is just the first chapter of, hey, we're adding to this group. Let's see what happens. But down the line, things aren't going to work out. But let's see what the storyline tells us until this eventually happens.
Yeah, from the moment, when Jeremy and I were talking last night in our own little Discord, but, like from the moment Reed stepped in the ring and Breaker, walked up to him, you can see that 6 months down the line, it's going to be which one of them is Meathead Prime, right? That's going to be the deal there.
Yeah.
Jeremy, I don't know, Vega and Green, Zelina Vega defending the U.S. Women's Championship against Chelsea Green. It goes terribly wrong for poor Chelsea. 619 goes straight to the face. Looks like it broke her nose. I don't know. What did you think?
I liked Vega whenever she first popped up with Andrade in NXT. I think that she is a far better manager, valet, than she ever will be a wrestler. Talent, as AJ Lee once said to Brie Bella, wrestling talent is not sexually transmitted. And Aleister Black is fucking chock full of wrestling talent, and none of it is being passed on to her. And I was telling you guys in the green room, she's related to the Amazing Red. It ain't passed on through the fucking bloodline either.
Yep.
Yeah,
and she's been around a while.
Yeah. And Chelsea's not gonna go out there and put on a 5-star fucking banger that's a technical fucking clinic by any means, and she'll be the first one to tell you that. But she's also a safe worker.
Right.
Yeah.
She's a Cody Rhodes type to me. You're not going to get 5-star matches, but you're going to get solid outings and a lot of charisma. And could we not mess with her, please? Like, I hope that Vega got if not her walking to. Yeah, nice talking to. Dave, we had it's all out of order, but we had Damian Priest in a cage match, a good old fashioned cage match with Drew McIntyre. It ends with a concerto, a one-man concerto. And then Damian decides to walk out the door, looks back like he might go in, just steps off and walks off. And Jesse Ventura, I didn't think much of last night, but I thought that was my favorite part of the show. Like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
I wonder if they were in his headset going, Jesse, kill it. What did you think of that affair?
Well, I mean, they bring back Jesse Ventura. He's a name that everybody knows, but he doesn't hold his tongue. He's just like he goes. I mean, it was a good match. It was violent. I have no idea where they're going. I know they want to push Priest, but I mean, he's in his 40s. Drew McIntyre's in his 40s. It seems, I mean, since Drew held the belt back when COVID was going on and there was nobody around, he just seems to be there. I mean, the guy is so talented that I don't think they know what to do with him.
Yeah.
And it's one of these things that I totally agree with Jesse Ventura. I mean, it was like, I'm like, Priest, what are you doing? You're walking out of the ring. The way a cage match should work. If they don't set perimeters, that's fine. But I mean, if you look back on cage matches, you have to climb the cage to get out. Right. If not, you're not the winner. If you walk out, you walk out. You didn't escape the cage. You walked out of the cage. So it's one of those, I mean, I don't know what they're doing, but I mean, in my eyes, it was a good match until that happened. And I mean, that may be one of those things that they use down the line. I'm hoping this storyline isn't finished, that Drew comes back and goes, you left the cage. You didn't climb the cage. I want one more time. This time you have to go out of the cage. You have to crawl out of the cage. But it's one of those things that, I mean, Drew, he seems like he's always the bridesmaid and never the bride. That they need to give him a title of some kind. He's too good of a worker. That it's a missed opportunity in my eyes.
And it feels like it's been a year or two since that was his gimmick. Like, I don't get treated well enough around here. But yeah. I agree. He's a worker that's so good you have to put a title on him rather than not. But
yeah.
Jeremy, R-Truth goes down in flames to his childhood idol. Always made me laugh. He's 5 years older than John Cena, but his childhood idol, John Cena, in a match nobody thought would go anyway but the way it went. What did you think about that? How it ended, and I don't know, the whole thing.
Man, I love me some K-Quick. I can't place when I first saw him, but he's always been a dependable worker. He's going to go out there and he's going to give every match 110%. He's going to entertain the crowd. And it went, like you said, it went exactly the way that I foresaw it.
Yeah.
But damn, I wish it would have been closer to the Orton Cena match that we got the last time, or at the last pay-per-view. I didn't need to see like a 15, 20 minute, back and forth, but did you have to do him like that?
Yeah. It bugs me especially because he's a former NWA World Champion.
Yeah. It's not like he hasn't held titles. In the grand scheme of things, he's held. I saw a graphic, and I'd have to look it up and everything, but the man's held well into the double-digit titles with as long as he's been in the ring.
Yep. I don't have opinions. I'll save mine till the end on the whole thing overall. But I don't know, Dave. The only other one was Jey Uso defends the title against Logan Paul. It ends with Cody Rhodes returning, as I think everyone expected, and setting up a tag match of Uso and Cody against Paul and Cena. What did you think of the main event?
I mean, it was what it was. The main event was used to further a storyline for a premium live event. It's one of those things that if we were back in the day of you having to pay for pay-per-views, this is what Saturday night's main event was used for, to get you to buy the next pay-per-view. Being that you don't buy them anymore, this is just furthering a storyline. I'm glad that Cody's back. I would have liked it maybe a little better if they wouldn't have telegraphed, hey, it's me and Jay against you guys, that Jay would have said, I got to find me a partner, and you're thinking, oh, it's going to be Jimmy, and then Cody shows up at the next Premium Live event and goes, hey, I got a call. I've worked out my situation from being at WrestleMania. I want my title back, and if I have to go through this to get my title, I'm going to stand beside Jay, and we're going to take on you guys. But it's one of those things that it was good. And I mean, I'll talk about Cody coming back, that he's been gone for just about a month. And this plays into, should wrestling have an off season?
Right.
It's one of those things. I'll discuss it a little more. Wrestling itself, I don't think should have an off season, but wrestlers should have breaks in them going into an off season, so they don't have to work, quote unquote, 24/7, 365.
Right.
That when a storyline ends, you have a winner in a match and a loser in a match. The winner can move on. That the loser or the person that's defeated then has to ponder what just happened. And that's when they step away for a little bit. But I think it was just enough time that you were like, okay, this is on network TV. We're going to bring back Cody. If you want to see what happens, you're going to have to pay for Netflix and see what happens down the line, because Raw and SmackDown, they're going to intertwine them storyline wise. And we'll see down the line if The Rock gets involved. But who knows? What happened is what needed to happen to further a storyline.
Yeah, I agree. And that's what it felt like. You said before the show to me, like, it seemed like a glorified house show. And
yeah.
Like, if any of you guys out there listen to Cornette, who I am sheepishly sometimes a listener of, he'll say something like, what did you think of the show? Brian Last will say, and Cornette will go, for me, it was just meh. And like every Saturday night main event so far, well, two of them, has just been for me. Like, big name matches on some of these things, right? World title matches and WWE championships, and and they're putting all these great things together on paper, and the execution just seems meh. Like, I was bored. Also, I don't know. I watched it on YouTube because I don't have cable or the Peacock or anything. It's now on Netflix. So, how many commercials were you guys watching these commercials? Like, oh my God. I couldn't believe how many there were. But anyway, I don't know whose fault that is. But like, I don't know. Vega shouldn't have been on this card, but I'm glad that Chelsea Green was. I'm sorry about her nose. I hope everything's fine. And I don't know. It just seemed like to me. What kind of rating do you guys give it overall?
On a scale of?
1 to meh. No. From, I don't know, 1 to 5, A to F, whatever you want to do.
A D?
A D. How much of that is Vega?
No, it overall the show was very meh. It didn't, for one, like you said, or like it was brought up, or Dave said, Saturday night's main event started out as 4 shows a year, and those 4 shows coincided with WrestleMania, the Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, and SummerSlam. And like Dave said, they were set up to be that final push to get the individuals that hadn't bought tickets, hadn't bought it on pay-per-view yet, to make that call to get to the box office. And that's not, there's no need for that anymore. We found out that WrestleMania did so well in Las Vegas that Las Vegas had to made the WWE and TKO an offer they couldn't refuse, and they pulled their WrestleMania in Las Vegas or in New Orleans next year in favor of, for the first time ever, going back to back in a WrestleMania location.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't have to. They're back at a spot where the competition is miles behind them. Where they didn't have WCW and they started resting on their laurels. We're starting to see the corporate resting of those laurels by cutting back on house shows, by bait and switching essentially, and they're starting to rest on their laurels. Their laurels. They're miles ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
This was a bad outing, honestly.
You agree with that, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a money grab, and it's one of these things that now that they're doing just their quote-unquote regular shows and not doing house shows. I mean, example, Zelina Vega. She's great as a manager type or valet with a group, but I mean, even if she's the wife of Aleister Black, she looks shitty in the ring. I'm not a wrestler by any means, but repetition in the ring, it becomes second nature. It's almost like when I DJ'd hours upon hours that I'd be able to throw a song on and know where a break was and be able to jump in and mix a song, but I had to work at that. I'd have to practice at home. If you're not working and practicing to get better at your craft, you're going to have the same shit day after day after day.
Right.
It's one of these things that if you don't get better at something, it's nobody's fault but your own.
Well,
so
I mean,
I'm looking at it. I mean, the NBC thing just seems to be a money grab. The Saudi Arabia money grab. I'm not saying if I was offered money to go do a show somewhere that I wasn't really fond of or didn't think, oh, this isn't a good thing. But, I mean, money talks and bullshit walks. They're not going to give up millions of dollars that's being paid to them to, hey, let's put on a show. I mean, Saudi Arabia, they're putting on shows where the people there have no clue that Andre the Giant is dead. They're asking for wrestlers that haven't been in the WWF or WWE for 25 plus years or even more. So it's one of those things that I can see doing some things for the money, but because they don't have the final say and TKO does, they're going to go for the money all the time. Whenever money's offered at them, if it benefits them in any way, they're going to take it.
Right. Yep, and that's the name of the game, but I guess we can't blame them for that. But the best thing that came out of this tonight, though, what? Scooby is a DJ? Ah, shit. Yeah, man.
Yep.
Look at Dave's hand someday when you meet him, and you'll see he's all about the music. Push play. There you go. I want to go right into DAWG, and we'll come back to Sabu, and I want to get right to clean the palate from Saturday night's main event. We don't even talk about WWE.
Thank God.
Yeah. Let's talk about DAWG, Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, WrestleMania 8 from the Chamberlain Student Center at Rowan University. I'll go to you guys for your comments. Maybe go back and forth if that works for you guys as well. But I wanted to say a couple things right off the bat. I just for total clarity, I think everybody here will probably know, but but Jaden is involved with the DAWG promotion, and he works for Dr. Zirconium, who runs that promotion. I've been to Jaden from the Alliance guys. I thought that just would explain itself, but I've been to a DAWG match. I drove to New Jersey from the Toronto area to attend. I had a great time. And since that couple of years that I've been to this right now, we had a great time live. It is night and day. I really enjoyed this event. So, like, spoilers right off the bat for me, not just the fact that I like Jaden, but this show is really good. This is a show with talent. It's got production, like everything's so clear. The sound is good. So when we talk about it, keep that in mind. And Dylan O'Brien from the Burning Hammer podcast is the announcer. He does a good job. I didn't catch the ring announcer's name. Best ring announcer on the indie circuit I've maybe ever heard in my life. That guy, that in-ring guy, I thought he was phenomenal. Did I say show? 50 lashes with a cat of nine tails. DAWG doesn't have shows.
They have events.
They have events. So we asked Jaden, look, it's a 4-hour show, man, and we got jobs and stuff. So can you give us 5 events? 5 see? Now I'm saying events. 5 matches from that show. Sean Beckerman, I guess, is the ring announcer. So fantastic job by him. Really, really enjoyed it. Ken Powers versus Tank Toland. And this starts with Powers, Dave, jaw-jack in the crowd, and then Tank Toland, who's got WWE and ROH experience, and he kind of slap each other around after, throwing each other down on the I didn't say show. Did I say show again? No, get out of here. I'm gonna ban this DAWG person. Who is this guy? No, I'm sorry. They drop each other in some classic holds and slap each other around. There's a fake handshake from Powers. He gets knocked down. He wants a test of strength, but he's at least a head taller over Tank Toland. Tank wins this one. That was one of my favorite spots of the match, was the release belly to belly out of that test of strength. I like the jumping jacks, Dave, that he did on Powers' chest. There were 3 attempts at the Tank turret, with the ref getting pulled in the way once, and Powers is largely in control until the Tank Toland comeback. Nice flapjack in this match as well. He hits the Tank turret to win. I thought it was a good opener. What do you think, Dave?
Oh, yeah. I laughed because I actually wrote down the same thing. Good back and forth once the match got started, but Powers was jaw-jacking the crowd a lot. And I mean, he knows exactly what to do, how to work the crowd. And I mean, the guy looked good, and him being a little taller than Tank showed the advantage. I mean, the guys worked well together, and I don't know how long Powers has been wrestling, but I mean, he has the look, and that's one of the things that when you look at somebody, they say the airport test, that if you're walking through an airport, your heads will turn when somebody like that walks by. Right. That it's either size or something attracts your attention when somebody walks by. But I mean, it was a good match. And I mean, if there's more matches like this that DAWG has at their events, I'm not going to say shows because I don't want Jaden on my bad side. But if there's more matches like this, this is how it's done. Right. And I noticed with all the matches, they were given leniency on going outside the ring. It wasn't, oh, a quick 10 count or like ROH does a 20 count. Give them time. They're telling a story. They're doing something. The bad guy is running out of the ring because the good guy was getting the upper hand. Then you jump back in and start again. But this was one of the better matches of the ones I watched, and it was great. I'm looking forward to the next event coming up in June, the end of June, at Sacred Heart Church, and if I can, I'm going to jump there. It's only about a 2-hour drive. It's on a Saturday, so I have off, but I'm hoping to see more of Toland and Ken Powers in the future at DAWG wrestling events.
Yeah, I really thought I didn't watch it in this order, but when I kind of went back, I thought, well, what they all had in common on this event. At some point, we're going to say matches, and Jaden's going to speak up and go, "We don't have matches. We have competitions or something." That's right. I thought there was an amazing amount of storytelling, Jeremy, that went back and forth through all of these matchups, and that it was clear to me that who, as like the education of the crowd and me online, who the babyface here is and who the heel is.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of great storytelling, as we'll see as we'll go on. Jeremy, Valerie Verman with Samuel, your women's champion, versus the notorious Mimi. So Verman stalls in this match for about 6 minutes straight, and she's on her phone for most of that time until Mimi rips it away, and when the ref checks her out, she has a second phone on her. I thought it was hilarious. The ref kind of takes a selfie with Mimi. And then, every time they try to get the match started, Valerie will scream. She'll run. She has to take out her earring. She has to kiss her boyfriend / manservant. I don't know exactly what he is, but she does a lot of hair pulling to knock Mimi down. And every time Mimi retaliates, she screams. Val screams, and she bails out. It goes outside, and Mimi is in control a while until the competition from, the outside interference from Samwell begins in this thing, and it carries on throughout the match. Some of the cheap shots and outside interference, I'll talk about it, I guess, as we go along, but there's a nice superplex in the match. Yeah. I am partial to the superplex. Just, I don't know. It's one of my favorite moves of all time. So I got into that. Mimi's the underdog. The crowd's behind her after about 10 or 12 minutes of the stalling and the outside interference. She makes a comeback. She does her X Factor. There's 3 running kicks to the face in the corner. She fights off interference and she goes to the top. Crossbody, 2 count. 619, and then she has this finisher that doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't execute well.
Yeah.
She does it to Verman. She actually does it to Samwell as well when he comes in to break it up. But it's enough of a distraction the third time around from him that for Valerie to hit what the announcer calls a girly pedigree for the win. 22 minutes in length from start to finish, but and all of the matches of a pretty good length. What did you think of it?
I chuckled at the multiple phones, and that was another the stalling. The stalling of the getting the match started was another kind of overarching theme between a lot of the matches as well. One of the matches we're going to talk about didn't start from the time that the competitors came out to the time that there was actual contact. Over 10 minutes passed.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And the crowd was completely behind it, and that's what's important, and that it all made sense too. It wasn't fucking goofy. I mean, it was kind of goofy, but in a good way that they made it work. Seeing Mimi in the underdog spot was kind of weird because she's been in NXT. She was on the Apple TV Monster Factory show where she was their female standout on there. She's been in MLW, AEW, so she's popped up quite a few places. The one thing that had me scratching my head during this match was the wing spot, where she went and grabbed her wings and came off, and that was the one where I was just like, yeah, I wouldn't have done that. But other than that, it was a fun match. I enjoyed it. These two had good chemistry together in the ring. Could tighten up a little bit of things here and there, but overall, it was good.
I thought I'd only add to that was it was a little bit too much interference for me at the end to not warrant a DQ.
Yeah,
like he's in the ring and Samuel is, and it seemed to go a bit off the rails there at the end, but still good, as you say. Tyson Maddox with Connor the Flag Boy Schaefer versus Wrecking Ball Legursky. So walking into this, not knowing about what's happened before, I thought that the show, both with the in-ring stuff and with the announcing that you get, they educated me on what's happening here. What I gather is that Wrecking Ball, or Connor rather, is set to fight Wrecking Ball, but he's faking an injury, a shoulder injury, and he's brought in Tyson Maddox, who's huge. The guy's enormous. He's the hired gun, as they call him. The crowd's behind Wrecking Ball. There's a chant off to, where they are getting the crowd to chant their names back and forth. There's collar and elbows, and Wrecking Ball's the stronger guy here. He's actually in firm control as the babyface. He uses his weight. There's suplexes for the first half of this. Until Connor interferes and Maddox takes advantage, who's, obviously a powerful dude too, and he slams Legursky. Wrecking Ball fights back. Connor gets involved again while Maddox just distracts the ref, but Legursky nearly chokes the Flag Boy out as he tries to interfere through the ropes. Look, this was big men slapping meat, as we say in the alliance. There is when Connor gets involved again after a spear from Maddox and a spine buster, Legursky bangs their heads together, choke slam, splash, 3 count on Maddox, and then outside the ring, Connor screams at Tyson, slaps him in the face for failing to win the match. He has enough. He just presses Connor over his head and throws him into the ring for Wrecking Ball, who makes a big, satisfying, deal of the windmill punch to basically knock him out. He hit them with the splash. He pretends he's not going to do it a second time. No, it's been enough. Wrecking Ball says, the crowd is calling one more time. And then he does it anyway. I thought it was pretty funny. Maddox covers Connor with his own flag, and then Wrecking Ball takes his shoes. I can't think of anything more emasculating than someone taking your shoes when the fight is over.
I want to say that Connor got everything that was coming to him for coming out there with a fucking Daredevil Dave Dahl flag. What the fuck, man? Really?
I once heard J-Cal issue utter the words, "Dave Dahl is my favorite athlete." He screamed it at Dave Dahl, who was on the apron at the time, and went, Dave, your thoughts on this one?
I thought it was a good match. I mean, Wrecking Ball is Wrecking Ball. He's not the Wrecking Ball that you see in the NWA. And I'm hoping that this is the wrestler we see in the NWA since he ended up breaking up with Jay Bradley and the Fixers are no longer. I mean, he can still be the lovable, goofy guy, but I mean, he's a powerhouse. He knows how to work the crowd. He knows how to work well with others. And I mean, I thought it was great at the very end. The only thing that wasn't done, I mean, there was a look between him and Tyson after the match of, I know you were a hired gun, basically respect to you. I'm not going to shake your hand, but here's a little head nod, a little eye wink. Thanks. We got this taken care of. I know you were only doing what you did because you were hired to do that. But it's one of those things that if they can bring in Wrecking Ball every once in a while, it doesn't have to be every match. That's great. He's not an
That's
athlete.
not you. He's talking about Dave Dahl.
I'm like, yeah, I'm not an athlete either, but I'm a wrestling supporter, not an athletic supporter.
That's Dave Dahl, man. That's Dave Dahl.
But I mean, overall, it was a very good match, and I mean, bring in Wrecking Ball as many times as you can and want. He only helps build a story, and him winning told the story of it wasn't about Tyson, it was about Connor. That mutual respect, that down the line, hey, we can be friends. We don't have to fight each other. We can if you want, but mutual respect. I know what you were doing because of what you were doing, only because you were hired to do that. So thumbs up, head shake, wink and a nod. It was a very good match. And I mean, both these guys, like you said, big men slapping meat.
Yep.
Wouldn't mind seeing Tyson in a NWA ring myself. I mean, he has all the tools. He has the look.
Junior heavyweighting.
Yep.
We get the DAWG heavyweight title match, fatal four-way. So it's successive pins. It's elimination for this match, as we have the Spartan Pitbull, Ricos, the Focus, Nick Bati, Vinny the Fixer, and your champion, your only two-time DAWG champion, Breaker Moran. Ricos has this interesting gear with one arm gone and one leg gone. Who was it in the NWA? I can't remember who it was. What's her name?
Smiling Kylie, wasn't it?
Smiley Kylie, that's right. Yeah.
And we clowned on it then. And I'm going to clown on it now.
Yeah, it's not good.
The fuck was he thinking? Timu Santino Marella.
Wow. He's from New Jersey. but yes, he had the Greek flag, I believe. But he comes out in a Rowan Stinks t-shirt.
Yeah.
I thought that drew a serious erection. A serious hello. A serious reaction. Everyone was excited. Let's just leave it that way.
Well, the
crowd.
odds are in the favor of someone being a masochist or a sadist in the audience. So
It's possible. But the alumni crowd gave him a lot of heat for it. Okay, not a fatal four-way. Well, so it's an elimination. I think it was announced as a fatal four-way, but it was elimination, as we know. Vinny the Fixer, very popular with this crowd. Part of Old School Empire, the most successful tag team they've had in the many years that DAWG has been around. And this is the retirement tour for Breaker Morant, also very popular with this crowd. This is where I originally wrote. This ring announcer's great. So I'm glad that we gave him his due earlier. It's a slow start, but like a slow burn for this match as Morant and Ricos draw the crowd out with dueling chants. They show clear lines here between heels and faces. There's a good history of Breaker Morant being told by the announce team in other promotions as well, guys he's beaten around the world or had competitions with. Nico stalls and gets a fist in the face before slapping Nick Bati in. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. And that's a tag. You slap a guy in the face and he's in now, which made me laugh. He comes in and basically tags Nico back in with a chop. So it's back and forth as Morant waits. There you go. 15 glorious years for DAWG. Morant waits and he takes control. He looks really good. I think he's 49, I believe they said, and this is his, by the way, the replays that are added in throughout this event are great. That's a nice touch in any indie wrestling promotion to see a replay put in from an event. I really enjoyed that. But Vinny takes over from Morant, and Nick really takes a beating in this thing. I was like thinking to myself, he sounds like Ric Flair, as they said that on the announce team. Back tags as Nico shows his stuff. Don't do those. Don't do back tags. Don't allow those. No, please don't. Camera work I wanted to put in here is pretty good. There's a hard cam. There's an entrance cam as well. It's a really interesting room that they have this in, and there's a couple of floor cams as well. It looks like some of the camera work could use a bit more seasoning. I wonder if there were maybe some younger or less experienced camera workers here, or a director was having a bit of trouble, I don't know, from time to time in getting between them. But it is high quality video despite some of the fluidity problems as well. I like a spot in here, just to name a couple spots. Morant and Fixer they're beating the crap out of the younger two, and then they kind of look at each other, and then they go to each other's opponents and start beating on them and do 10 punches in the corner. Like a couple of old vets in control. And I've lost my train. They square off and shake hands, and then they get jumped by the two guys they've been beaten on. And by 2 minutes later from this, after Morant pins Ricos after a stunner, he also eliminates Bati as well. So the two old vets are the guys who are left, and we almost don't see the finish here. This is my only real complaint about the match, other than the bag tags, which DAWG Pro Wrestling also hates. That's great. Is that Vinny slips on the brass knucks. Don't blink or you'll miss it. The camera was not in place. The announcers didn't catch it. and he decks Morant. He pins him 1, 2, 3. It's over, and it's a surprise even to the announcers. It was I wish it had been set up more, that the camera had been ready for that moment, especially given that this is going to be the swan song for Breaker Morant. 440-day reign as DAWG champion comes to an end. Good match, good story. I just thought kind of a weak finish, especially given that, as I mentioned, this is his going away. Morant takes the mic after. He thanks the crowd for their cheers. He appreciates them. This is it, and he's done. And there are thank you breaker chants that break out, no pun intended, as he shakes hand with the crowd and takes the final bow. What'd you think? Which one of you went last? Dave went last. This is you now.
I was I too caught that, and I wrote down I believe that Vinny the Fixer used an international object to win the title, which shocked me. I also wondered if Vinny the Fixer is in any way affiliated with the Fixers. Jaden or Dog Pro Wrestling, if you could answer that for me, it'd be just to call my curiosity. I also took note of the fact that Vinny the Fixer looked like a taller, bigger, and more believable badass Bobby Fish.
Ah, yeah.
I enjoyed the match. I like the beginning where they were slapping the shit out of each other to tag each other in. I thought that was a nice little touch, especially being as Bate was just a fucking heat magnet. That kid's got I say kid, but
sure,
he's got something. There was something there. So I look forward to seeing what he does in the future. I enjoyed this match. It was. I'm not typically a fan of multi-man matches, even when they're set up to tag it in and out in elimination style. But this one played out very well. They structured it nicely. It kept me engaged in it, which is something nowadays. This went about 20 minutes, 25 minutes ish, and I enjoyed it. I had fun with it.
I really. Here's your answer. Vinny is the OK Fixer, and WB or Working Ball Legursky is Vinny's cousin.
Okay.
You said structure, and I agree. I like the way Breaker Morant pins both guys.
Yeah.
Before putting Vinny, who's been around forever, and taking this title in the way that he takes it, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
And I don't like four ways either, but this was good. I mean, it's been 4 for 4 for me watching this card, and I kind of feel like people are going to go, they like Jaden, they like DAWG. Listen, this has been better than any other NWA territory. It's the OG Fixer. Thank you, DAWG. Than any NWA territory that we've looked at for me, and the production's better, the storytelling has been better.
And to anyone that may be thinking or wants to say that we're just because Jaden is a friend of the Alliance and a contributor, it's a good thing I'm not commenting on the last match, because I never fucking booked Donovan Dijak anywhere. The guy's as one-dimensional as fucking Earth 1218. Google it.
We got 5 matches. You can both talk about this one here at the end. So, on that, David Goldy, the World Wrestling Grand Prix champion, defending the title against Donovan Dijak, who apparently Jeremy has a problem with. 6'7".
Your eyes.
Goldy is a solid performer. Trained at the Monster Factory. Look, I saw him live a couple years ago now, I guess, with Dave there. Dave was there too. He's super solid. He was. I said to Jaden after, he's the best guy on this roster right now. Goldy is not a great name, and I know it's a kind of a nickname off of his real last name, but anyway. Probably too late to change that now. Dijak, WWE, NXT, MLW, I think.
Yeah.
He's got to have 6 inches on Goldy, and who's not short. Goldy shows power here. He pushes Dijak back, which was a surprise, but this is a David versus Goliath story with size and power against an all-around athleticism in Goldy. They fight outside the ring for several minutes into the crowd and the seats. Goldy really holds his own here as champ against the Monster. There's a bad backstory that is told in this match, where after Goldy is tossed into the ring post, he might have missed, but I did watch it a few times. I'm not sure he did, but the story's there. Dijak really works that back for a while, and it's a good story. Like Goldy fights from underneath for his comeback. He can't topple the big man with lariats, but he does this springboard knee to the face that looked legit. Like, he looked like he clocked him with that thing. There is a 5th clothesline that topples Dijak. There are "This is awesome" chants. I would have joined in if I was there. Goldy tries to get Dijak up a few times in this thing, but the back is the story. Dijak kind of hits a DVD where he carries him a bit over more onto the back. Both men are winded. Goldy fights a sit-out choke slam, which if you hear it, if you watch it, you can hear the ring because it sounds really good. As he sets him up for the choke slam, you can hear Dijak say to him, "Time to die." I went, what? Okay, too far, buddy. But it was cool. And legit looks like it's over, and Goldy kicks out at 2.9. Dijak goes for a moonsault at this point to finish him off. Goldy rolls away, hits a springboard elbow drop, 2 count of his own. Kick exchanges. The back gives out. Big kick from Dijak. It's over, right? No. Dijak with a suplex attempt. Goldy reverses it basically into a brainbuster on the back of his neck. 3rd time's a charm. The announce team called the finisher the go to sleep. It's not the go to sleep, but it's kind of a attitude adjuster into a backstabber, sort of. Like, I don't know what they call it. But it looked neat. The crowd loved it. He gets the pin. Great match, 25 minutes. Both you guys, what do you think? What do you think, Dave, of the main event?
Well, there was a lot of good back and forth to start off, several near falls. It highlighted both the guys. I did like them taking it outside the ring and letting it play out, that it wasn't, you have to get in, there's a 10 count. Like I said before, they relaxed the rules. They let them take it outside, then bring it back in the ring. It's a story of how the wrestlers work, that you're either running away or running back in. So I don't know what the actual finish was. They said that they called it the go to sleep, the GTS, and I'm like, no, that's not how I've seen it done. But it looked good, and the way that Dijak sold it, he didn't pop back up right after it. He just sort of laid there, rolling back and forth. He grabbed his head. He's like, "Oh," I could feel him selling the effect of what just happened. And it's one of these things that when you bring in somebody from the outside, it's for a championship match, for the title, but the bigger name doesn't always have to win. Sometimes you use the bigger name to put a shine on your champion. And that's what they did here. I did like what was done storyline wise, but I mean, I don't think the WWE had any idea of what to do with Dijak when they moved him up from NXT. NXT, he seemed to flourish. They moved him up to WWE, and they did that horrible retribution angle with the masked guys. Everybody in Retribution just suffered because of that. Just let them be themselves. That if you're doing good down in NXT, when they move you, don't do a complete 180 and change what worked in one area to another. I can see changing a name here and there, but don't just change it because, oh, we have this great idea. Retribution, that was a bad idea all around, and everybody suffered, nobody won out of that.
Yeah.
And I mean, Jeremy, you may not like Dijak, but I think put in the ring with the right person. He wasn't a great star, but he does have some name value. I wouldn't mind seeing him, whether it be up in Maple Leaf Pro, go against Latimer, because both these guys are big guys, and I think it would be a good match. Plus, he does have he wasn't a big star, but he has that WWE NXT shine still on his name. So if you beat him, it's not a big feather in your cap, but it's a feather in the cap nonetheless.
Yeah. So not a Dijak guy, Jeremy. What'd you think of the whole thing?
No, so I like Goldy. David Goldy he is rightfully holding a title, as he should. I look forward to seeing what he does moving forward and how his career progresses and where he ends up. And this was a good match. They again another match that was structured well. For me, Dijak's very one-dimensional. It boring for me. I don't care for the character. The tagline, "The feast your eyes," seems like something maybe his mother said. You're such a good boy, Donovan. Look at what your mother and father put together. You just feast your eyes on that package there. You know, coming to the stage next, he's paying his way through culinary school. Put your hands together and get your dollar bills out for Double D. Feast your eyes. I don't get him. The few matches that I did enjoy him with was whenever him and Keith Lee went up against each other in NXT.
Oh, yeah.
He does really good against other big guys. But I like the way that they built this match, the David and Goliath story to it.
Where is Keith Lee?
Sick still. He major health issues.
Oh, that sucks. Overall, DAWG Pro Wrestling account wrote each match brought something. I agree. You had great storytelling throughout, which even if you're an uneducated fan, like maybe people who had bought tickets as part of the alumni that were there, or me, just a casual viewer into the product, I understood everything that was going on.
Yeah.
And clear lines for heels and faces, and really good production, really good announcing, and they had humor in the Legursky, Connor the Flag Boy, Tyson Maddox deal. They had interesting characters. It was a lot of fun. And I might jump back down there in next month and join you, Dave. I'll see if
Cool.
I was going to go to a show 2 hours from here. On is that June 28th that it's the DAWG is down there? I'll just pull it up. You don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
June 28th. And the other show I believe that I was going to go to in Ontario up here was also, I'm pretty sure, June 28th, and I'm not going to it. And the reason is, and I'm sure that this is going to make everyone go gaga. Yeah, it's June 28th. It has Tessa Blanchard. Al Snow's there. But I looked at the ticket prices, and it's in a town in Ontario called Leamington. You've never heard of it. And if you live in Ontario, you know, maybe a third of the people know Leamington. And the promotion looks like they have decent, you know, names from time to time that come up and pass through, and they're active in the whole bit. They want $140 for a front row ticket for one.
Jesus.
Are you like that comes with a meet the VIP, but I can't get a front row ticket there without doing that. And I don't.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, no thanks. It's like $70 for rows 2 to 4. What?
No.
Anyway, so prices are unreasonable. So I would rather spend that money coming down and seeing this product here. I really enjoyed DAWG. We all did. You know, as I say, it's better than any NWA territory we've seen in the last little while on so many different levels. So hats off for me to DAWG Pro Wrestling. Very, very well done, and look forward to seeing more of you guys as we progress. Let's, as I said at the top of the show, let's get this over with. Where is the thing? Not the overlay, the logo. There you go. Okay. Let's get this over with. We are doing a giveaway right here and now. If you're in the Discord, this thing is pretty cool. This is a Sabu statuette. These two guys can't win. But if you're here, we're going to do some Sabu trivia. You'll get the book with it. I'm giving it away. I will mail it to you anywhere in the world. You don't have to pay for any of that stuff. I'll take care of that. So just just don't watch Dave Doll Wrestling. So this is what we're going to do. If you're part of the Discord, even if you're not and you want to be part of the Discord by the time this show is over, because I will check, and you want to win this pretty nifty thing and the book that Sabu wrote, Scars, Silence, and Super Glue, then get ready to type your answers into the chat. First one in the Sabu trivia to answer. Sam is like, Sabu's ECW debut. Was that an ECW show? I feel like Sam's trying to guess already. Maybe you're not, but anyway. But here we go. First answer in, that's correct. That counts as one. Start off easy. Who did Sabu win and lose the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship to in 2000? Give me the name. Be the first person to give me the name in the chat. You can't. No, Jeremy, you can't win.
I don't know it anyways.
You don't know it anyways? No, 38 date rate. Sam Retro, who I'm so glad. Mike Rapata is the correct name. Now, that was a super easy one. Can you get two in a row? This one will be a bit harder. I'm going to pick a bit harder one. Sabu famously competed against Terry Funk in a barbed wire match in ECW. No, good guess, Steve. It wasn't Taz. It was Mike Rapata. where he tore his bicep open from 10 inches in length and was handed tape to close up his arm, continued the match. Who handed him the tape? Who handed Sabu the tape to tape his bicep closed in that match? It was, in fact, although you probably wouldn't believe it, the only barbed wire match in ECW history. Now, there was a razor wire match, and there was lots of barbed wire stuff used elsewhere, but it was the only barbed wire match that they ever had. We'll give everybody a couple of seconds, and then I'll just move on to the next one in case I don't know. The other Alliance guys, not yet brought to you by Gatorade Zero. Gatorade Zero, the drink for you because you're not an athlete, but that cute chick at the gym might think that you are. There are no guesses. I see no guesses coming up yet. So I will go back to a middle-of-the-road question. What NWA championship did Sabu face Al Snow for in 1994, becoming the only man ever to hold this belt? Well, this is the correct answer for the last question. So DAWG Pro Wrestling has one. Bill Alfonso. Bill Alfonso handed the tape to Sabu. Alfonso was his manager at the time. So back to this. What NWA title did Sabu face Al Snow for in 1994? If it helps you, I think it was in just outside of Detroit. It was a Dennis Corluzzo show. It was a belt that Dennis Corluzzo had created because the world's title was occupied. The NWA Independent World Championship is correct. This now belongs to whoever is in charge of the DAWG Pro Wrestling account. So I will make sure that I'll talk to Jaden and see if I'm sending this to Dr. Zirconium or to Jaden or somebody else. Congratulations. That's awesome. The other question I had on here is I figured that it was going to go fairly quick, but was in 1998, just for shits and giggles, a 6-man tag match was a main event at November to Remember. Sabu, RVD, and Taz were a team competing against Shane Douglas, Bam Bam Bigelow. Who was the third member of the other team? Former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Look at this. Send to Sam Retro. What a gentleman. I will do that. Sam, I have Sam's address, so I will send that to you, Sam. You got friends at DAWG Pro Wrestling. Anyway, it was Chris Candido. Let's get on with the show. Thanks for playing. And I will get that out. So next up, we are going to a segment that we eventually will call Championship Wrestling from Jeremy.
Attention, everyone. One.
School is in session.
Oh, boy, is this great!
Let me talk to you.
Let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
It's time for Championship Wrestling from Jeremy.
Fucking nitty-gritty. I'm the nitty-gritty. Still the best part. So, what's happening in the world of the United Wrestling Network?
We were back at the Irvine Improv again this week, and we had Christian Cole and Todd Keneally on commentary. The show started out with the UWN Women's World Championship match between Brittany Brooks with Alex Gracia versus Big Mama. Brooks had a solid strategy. She was just outsized and outmatched here. Mama has a death grip on the UWN World's title, and she's not going to give it up easily. Every time Brittany looked like she could gain the upper hand, Big Mama answered back rather brutally. Mama, of course, retained in this match. The shocker here was how quickly Alex turned her back on Brittany, attacking right after the match. I think that Alex saw Brittany as possibly an easier target to take the title off of if she was successful in pinning Big Mama, which is kind of a flawed logic if you think about it.
Yeah.
You know, unless you help them win, I never understood the logic in that. But it was nice to see Alex kind of go that way. She's a much better heel than she is a baby face. So I'm looking forward to see where they go with this, and how they proceed with it. Quite a few different avenues that they can go. So quite interesting. We then got a segment with ZDTV with Zicky Dice. He was pitching his email address for challengers to submit their video to be considered for Zicky's open challenge. Evan Daniels came out and confronted Zicky for seemingly ignoring Evan's video submissions. Zicky says that didn't happen and calls for his selected clip before Evan cut him off and plays his clip. I'm looking forward to seeing these two lock up. Daniels, since stepping away from Bryce Saturn, I believe it was, and Arthur E. Charles Cassius, has kind of been making a name for himself as a singles competitor on UWN, so this will be a good one. We then got Joey Lancaster versus Fidel Bravo. Lancaster is new. I believe this is a debut match. He was a serious-looking little fella. Kind of hard to take him seriously, though. His first name's Joey. I mean, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Joseph Lancaster, you know, that's kind of a stoic sounding name, but Joey, nah, I can't take you seriously there.
Not a Joey Janela guy?
Huh?
You're not a Joey Janela guy? I'll show myself out.
There you go. That's right. Shame. Shame. Lancaster looked good, though, in his debut. He put up a solid effort. Fidel, however, has been showing out since the UWN has returned, and he has. He's dropped some weight since he came back, and just he's been putting on banger matches. The mystery man from the Cryptic video showed up at ringside this week to watch this match. He didn't say anything or give away who he was watching in the match either. And neither one of them acknowledged him. So I'm still my interest is starting to grow in this with each passing week. The guy's still a fucking weirdo, though. But I need to see this play out and who he's going to have backing him when he officially debuts. Yeah. I want to see this stable. We then get Danny Limelight. He says he'll be paying attention to the next match, which is the main event number one contenders match between Kenny King and Scorpio Sky for his UWN world title. Before telling us that he's been away shooting a movie and gives us a behind the scenes clip of that. It's called The Asylum, and he has a major role in it. So looking forward to that. Huh. And we then go to the number one contenders match for the UWN World Championship with Kenny King versus Scorpio Sky. And commentary made mention of it, and I wholeheartedly agree. This was my match of the week. And it's definitely a match of the year contender. Probably one of the best matches. Commentary said this. I can't verify that because I haven't been watching as long as they've been involved.
Right.
But possibly one of the best matches ever put on in UWN history.
Wow.
these two put on a clinic with the 20-plus minutes that they had to work with. We have a number one contender. Go watch the show to find out who it is and what happened to them right after their hand was raised, because it's quite fucking interesting. If you're not watching the UWN, may you never have to run naked through a field of big floppy dildos.
When are you going to get back to Memphis? We all want to know about Memphis.
I don't see anybody bringing that up in the chat.
I just came back from my coat all. Well, you know, the UWN is growing. They got Gotham coming up.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's other talk down the road, too. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to go, I think, based just off of what you have said here, I'm going to go and watch that immediately. My wife's not home, so I'm going to go watch that before she gets home. When this is over. So I look forward to it. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you, as always. And I will bring out, look at it, he's getting hammered on whatever's in that purple cup right now.
I wish.
Yeah. This is Dave Scooby, fantasy booker, in a segment we like to call I Respect You, Booker Man. How did your banner get moved way down here? Dave,
Yes.
Should wrestling have an off season? That's our question to you.
Well, yes and no in what you're calling an off season. Wrestling, pro wrestling as a whole can run 52 weeks a year. That's cool. The wrestlers themselves need an off season, I believe. How to make this happen and still be a full-time promotion? You have enough wrestlers in most wrestling promotions to run 52 weeks a year and not have to have them be on every show. What you do is, just like any team, whether it be a hockey team, a baseball team, if a player gets hurt or goes on injured reserve, they move somebody up and move somebody down.
Right.
What they should do, in my opinion, is use the concept of an off season. It's one of these things. It can offer benefits for the wrestler and story development. That it could be done. You can still remain a full-time promotion, but it gives your talent a time to rest if need be. Now, if you watch Saturday night's main event last night, you know who just returned. Cody. But he's been gone a month.
Right.
They brought him back. He wasn't in action, but just bringing him back and then him saying, hey, in 2 weeks, we're going to be in action. Let's tag up him and Jay, and they're going to go against Cena and Logan Paul. People were waiting for Cody. They knew he'd be back. It's just a waiting process. It's one of these things of having an off season can benefit your talent. It reduces burnout and injury risk. They'd have a chance to rest and recover. And it's one of these things that back in the day, if you were injured, unless there was a broken bone and there was blood everywhere, you didn't say that you were injured because you would lose your spot. Nowadays, there's enough talent that they can move up and down the roster that, yeah, Cody's been running with the title for a year up until he lost it at WrestleMania. So let's give him a couple weeks break, bring him back, and he starts the rebuild. It's not that he's not at the top of the card anymore. He just doesn't have the title. He's in the upper 10%, I'd say, of the card. but now he has to start the chase again. Cena only has until the end of the year. So they're going to tell the story, and at the end of the year, who knows where these guys will be, but it's one of these things of you have to give your talent time off, either when they're injured or when they're not in the top storyline.
Right.
That it's one of these things that taking a break and having a quote unquote off season for your talent would help them. It would take the pressure off of working a weekly schedule. They're only working shows now. There's not actual tours. There's just the live shows that they have on Monday and Friday, Raw and SmackDown, and then any PLE that they have. So it's one of those things that they're not going out on a Thursday night or a Saturday night unless it's a televised event that they're having. And if you do a timed off season, it gives I think the crowd would have a better or a greater anticipation for returns. It's one of these things of how can I miss you if you don't go away?
Right.
So it's one of these things of, like I said, Cody's been gone since WrestleMania. In that time, you've had other people step up. Braun Breaker, he stepped up. Bronson Reed just came back. He's moving up the ladder. It's one of these things that you're building up returns. Let's see what happens when these wrestlers come back. Cody doesn't have to carry the WWE on his shoulders anymore. He just has to continue a story and be involved in the mix somewhat. Now, the promotion itself, they'd still run a full-time schedule, but giving the talent some time off once they finished up a storyline. But I'd only do it if it makes sense. Cody losing at WrestleMania, it's not that he lost his smile. He lost the title. He had to step away and ponder what's next. It's time to, sometimes you have to think about things and go, okay, let's reshuffle the deck. It's the same cards. We're playing with the same 52 cards, but let's put them in a different order. Let's reshuffle this. And the more you can do that and bring in people from either the mid card or the mid to upper card, you're building for the future. That Roman Reigns isn't going to always be around. The Rock isn't always going to be coming back. If John Cena is done at the end of the year, he's done. He may come back as an ambassador for WWE, but he's not going to be in the ring if you believe what he says of, I'm retiring at the end of the year. What's done is done. So all you're doing is helping your future. And it's one of these things that if you focus on development, and that's development of storylines and developing your wrestlers, that if you figure out a storyline, how it ends, that, I mean, most bookers would look at things back in the day and go, okay, in 6 months' time, I want wrestler A to be champion. How do I get to this point? So-and-so is going to be champion. Let's work backwards and see how we make him champion, and let's start this in 2 weeks. That if you end up doing this, that you can run a storyline for a month, 3 months, 6 months, even a year. Just plot it out with those involved. And what you have to do is you have to make adjustments. Whatever's happening, if it's working, that's cool. You can continue. If it's not working, you have to decide when and where to make that pivot, make that change. That in a storyline, the winner advances and the loser steps back. It's almost like that meme of Homer Simpson. He's standing there and then he backs up into the bush. He just sort of disappears. that the loser goes away to ponder what went wrong or how they can return to avenge their loss. That if they disappear for one night, that's nothing. If they disappear for a couple weeks, but they're still on the minds of the announcers, the other wrestlers that were involved in that storyline, that I mean, John Cena can go, yeah, I got rid of that Cody Rhodes kid. He was never on my level. Well, you're still talking about him, so what's the deal with that? He doesn't have to physically be there to be involved in a storyline. Now, also, you look at availability of a talent. That John Cena wasn't around, but he just came back, but they might choose to do something else. There's other opportunities. I mean, if you watch some of the stuff that John Cena has done, I like what was it, Peacemaker, the TV show.
It's funny.
Love that. It was great. He's stepped away. He's done some other stuff. But, I mean, they can do that for their off seasons. I mean, Cody Rhodes, he's done some stuff when he was with AEW. He also did some TV shows and stuff like that. Or, I mean, who is it? Darby Allin. He stepped away and, I'm going on a little hike. He hiked up Mount Everest and he's up there with the AEW flag. Okay, cool. That's what some wrestlers can do. They need a break, either physically or mentally, from wrestling, that they can step away, do their own thing, then come back the conquering hero. So having a so-called off-season could be seen as a opportunity to make a more impactful character or help a storyline, and they can use this to build up either a major event of, I mean, Darby hasn't been back. Who knows if he shows up tonight at Double or Nothing? But they haven't mentioned anything besides being on social. He's been up on the mountain. Who knows what the physical toll of him climbing that mountain, and when he comes down, if he'll be ready to wrestle. But if he shows up, he can do a promo. He doesn't have to wrestle. So it's one of those things that allows these characters to take a break, come back, create new rivalries, and develop something different. It's a chance to create a more rounded wrestling product as you rotate wrestlers in and out throughout the year. So it's one of these things that, per se, wrestling would be 52 weeks a year, but a single wrestler doesn't have to work all those 52 weeks. They can have a break, whether it be 2 weeks, a month, 3 months. Hopefully it's not a bad injury that this comes about, but it's one of these things that you don't have to work injured. If you're injured, you can take off a couple weeks, heal up, and then come back. So, I mean, in conclusion, it's an off season in pro wrestling. It's not the norm, but if you work at it, I mean, it would require some thought, a lot of pre-planning, that if things work out, yeah, if you're the winner in a match, you move on. If you're a loser, take a couple weeks off, ponder, have your name still in the mix, but you're not physically there. Have the announcers make mention of you. Hey, we hope Cody's been gone. I don't know what's up with him. He left after WrestleMania. We haven't seen him since. We know he's still under contract. He's just stepped away to see, to maybe ponder what's next.
Right.
So it's one of those things that I think it would improve storytelling, because if you can physically write down what's going to happen in 3 weeks, 6 weeks, what's going to happen in 3 months, 6 months, what's happening at next year's WrestleMania. I mean, it helps the wrestling as a whole, a wrestler's well-being and the fans' engagement, I think would make it worthwhile, that people would look forward to their favorite wrestler or not even their favorite wrestler, but a wrestler just making a return.
Right.
So it's one of those things that for wrestling, for the promotion, it wouldn't be an off season. It would be a rest or a stop break for wrestlers. So they're not always, sometimes, hey, let's put them on the back burner. They're still on the stove. They're still in the kitchen, but they're not the main meal. They're not they're not the big deal.
Right.
They're a side dish for now. They're an appetizer. They aren't the main course. You have to sometimes rotate things in and out. And I think that's what an off season for wrestlers, not so much the wrestling promotion, but for wrestlers, that it would benefit them down the line. That, I mean, if Randy Orton steps away, that gives somebody like Austin Aries a chance to step up. Austin Theory.
Right.
It would give him a chance to step up. And he's been there before, but he sort of faded into the background. That a off season or a break per se for your main talent would give your undercard a chance to step up one or two notches, see if they work out, and then you know that down the line, if they work out, they can always replace a main eventer down the line. So, I mean, that's how, in my eyes, I would do it. Are you playing with your kitty there? Yay! But that's how I would do it. Whether it be with WWE, you can bring up some talent from NXT, or NXT is working with TNA, that if you're able to bring in some TNA talent, highlight them here and there, you know down the line Joe Hendry's going to be a talent for the WWE, whether it be an NXT talent, and then they move him up, but they're testing the waters. And I think that's what they need to do, whether it be AEW, WWE. I mean, they're using ROH as a testing ground for people that are unable to be on the main show for AEW. So they're moving them back and forth. Same thing with NWA, can do that with some of their territory wrestlers. That you don't always have to be in the spotlight. I mean, EC3, former champion, they've moved him down a notch. He's still in the mix, but he's helping bring PB Smooth along for the ride as a tag team from Crockett Cup. So that's how you do it. You don't per se have an actual off season where, well, after Survivor Series in November, we're not running anything in December or the first 2 weeks of January. We're just having 6 weeks of, this is what happened over the last year, and this is what happened here, and this is what's going to happen this coming year. The promotion itself doesn't have a stopgap. It's the wrestlers that have a off season. Like I said, whether it's, I'd go at least 2 weeks and just go, hey, I wonder what happened. 2 weeks is enough time for people to start questioning if they're not on TV, or they've gone radio silent on social media.
Right.
Or they just go on and say, hey, taking a break, just need to clear my mind, and then you don't hear from them for another 2 or 3 weeks. It sort of puts that in the back of your mind of, I wonder what's wrong, and you sort of look forward to what's going to happen.
I think that's a great perspective. Like we always say, hopefully people are going to start listening at some point. Oh, that's weird. Yeah. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. And we are fairly over. Thanks a lot, Saturday night's main event, Sabu. Social media. Where can they find you, Dave?
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter X, and I'm over on Blue Sky as well, at Dave Scooby. Just hit me up if you guys have any suggestions for some fantasy booking, or if you have suggestions of a favorite independent that you'd like us to watch.
Yeah, 100%.
We'll give it a look.
What about you, Jeremy? No, you're on mute.
There we go. You can find me over on Facebook at Jeremy Miller and Blue Sky at Alliance Jeremy. And I'm thinking about possibly throwing together a Monday night show. Kind of a watch along per se of I watch wrestling every night of the week with the exception of Wednesday for the most part. So
nice.
I watch a lot. I've been thinking about doing a Raw watch along. Willie, you're more than invited. You're more than welcome to hop in the chat and just dog the shit out of it. It's all good. But I'm putting that out there into the Alliance verse, and if you guys are interested in that, say something in the Discord or in the comments after the show, and let me know.
Yeah, 100%. I don't have social media because I'm stupid and old. So the banner says. I will. We'll see how long that lasts. I don't know. Join. Oh, actually, most importantly, Alliance-Wrestling.com at the Alliance blog on all the social media platforms, and Alliance-Wrestling.com, your number one source for news and information around the National Wrestling Alliance and other independents around the world. Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. It's the Alliance Guys podcast. J-Cal with DKM, with Jaden, every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. It's the pre-party before NWA Power with J-Cal. Follow Dangerous Wrestling. I spelled wrestling wrong here. Look at that. Adrenaline. How is it DAWG? Who put this together? It's DawgProWrestling.com. There's the YouTube.
DAWG.
Yeah, DAWG. They don't have shows. They have events. Oh, my God. I must have been very tired.
Did you get into my edibles, Tim?
It's possible. It is possible. This is a little bit of a dumpster fire ending today, but I appreciate you guys. Until next time, we'll see you at the matches.
Thanks for joining the stream. This has been a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com. We genuinely appreciate your support. Would you consider subscribing so you'll never miss a future episode? I'd also like to remind you we do a live stream every Tuesday at 5 p.m. before NWA Power. You can find us on social media at The Alliance Blog. And until next time, we are The Alliance.